You know, this is one of the world's great food streets. It's a melting pot of flavours and of cultures. You can put on weight here just by looking in the window. It's also a street that's steeped in tradition. This is Ackland Street in Melbourne, and the tradition is Jewish, and it's a tradition kept alive by the Zarak family. Elizabeth, her husband George, and his mother Maria were born in Poland. And that's where they acquired their great love of Eastern European Jewish cuisine, bringing that love to this Ackland Street restaurant.
Multicultural now.
We got Japanese people, Chinese people,
Vietnamese,
but
Indian.
the funny thing is, they eat the Jewish food, but we are surprised. We got borscht, what is typical Jewish, and people coming.
That's a beetroot soup.
Yes, this is a beetroot soup, and they're coming and they say, we like the beetroot juice. It's not a beetroot juice, it's a borscht, but we know what that means.
George, you work with your mother and your wife. Is that an interesting experience?
Of course it is. It is.
What are some of the highlights? Do you boss them around?
I don't boss them. I try to a little bit, of course. Yeah.
Do they
Have
boss
to run
you?
them.
But we like
Does your mother still treat you like the little boy?
Sure. You always a little boy for your mother. All your life. That's
I always
normal.
teach him. I call George. George, how is the chicken soup today? Did they put this and this and this, the right thing in the soup? I still think about the shop. 24 hours, the shop is in my head.
We're married to the shop.
You're married to the shop?
But we like,
Wait,
but we
you
like,
and me.
we like the people.
Yes.
who
Elizabeth
coming.
doesn't think she's married to the shop. No.
She's married to George.
She's married to George, she's married to the shop.
No,
This is the
but,
most extraordinary interview I've ever
but
done.
why?
So on to an extraordinary recipe. It's for Jewish penicillin, otherwise known as chicken soup. And there are few recipes better than the Zarach family's, which comes complete with little meat-filled dumplings known as kreplach. First to the soup. Into a large pot go pieces of chicken. Then 2 or 3 beef bones and vegetables. A parsnip chopped, some celery also chopped, carrots, yes of course chopped, leek, onion, and salt and pepper. Water is poured over to well cover. And this is all simmered very, very slowly for around 2 hours. And after about 10 minutes, it's a good idea to skim off the scum that surfaces. Meanwhile, some pastry is made with just plain flour, egg, and water. And it's mixed well to form a dough, adding more flour if too sloppy and more water if too dry. It's rolled into a ball, wrapped in plastic and refrigerated for about half an hour. Once the soup is cooked, I strain it and then remove the surface fat with paper towel. Now some of the chicken meat and beef meat, if there is some, is taken from the bones and chopped up finely. Some fried onion is stirred in. The rolled out pastry is cut into squares and small amounts of the mixture are placed on them. The pastry is folded over, pressed down to seal, then 2 of the points are brought together and sealed. These are then poached in water and later added to the soup. Degree of difficulty for the soup, low. For the kreplach, medium to slightly fiddly. Time taken, about 10 minutes work for the soup and 25 for the kreplach. Leftover potential where the soup keeps very well for several days in the refrigerator. The kreplach are best eaten immediately they're cooked. When it's time to serve, onto a warm dish go a couple of those little dumplings, covered with chicken soup, seasoned to taste, a garnish of dill, and there it is complete. A wine companion, I think an Australian semule would be perfect. From Consuming Passions, till next time, bon appetit. If you'd like this recipe, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to this address, ring the recipe hotline, or visit our website.